Alright, so starting off, I'm going to measure a ring gap. The clearance on these is 2 thous to 8 thous. Just going to get that in there. Trying to mark anything up or break it. There we go. This is a fresh 20 over piston, new hone, new bore, 20 over rings, everything's new. Where am I at? Let's go to max. Make sure I've got 2 on there. Nope. Alright, let's go for... let's try 6 next. Alright, 6 fits, so probably 7 just to make sure. And 7 does not fit, so right around 6 thous, which was in tolerance. A little bit on the bigger side, but hey, it works. And then just slide that out. Also make sure everything's well lubed, that way you don't score it up or anything. This is the upper rings, it's got the silver coating. This goes on the lower, it's a low control oil ring. I've seen people not run it before I run them if I have them. Get a little bit of lube on this one. And then repeat. Just make sure. Out the piston. You can also do this the other way on the cylinder. It's just easier this way because of the gaps. Alright, so I'm off with 8 thous again. It does not fit. Let's go 7. Alright, looks like 7. Nope, 7 does not fit actually. Yep, 6 fits. Okay, so they're pretty much even. That's what you want for the most part. Alright, so starting with the piston, I will start with the small control ring. Let's get that lined up. Do not want that over the pin. There we go. Yep, and start with these. I will not be able to show them, but along right here, there's small little markings. Basically, they say the size of the ring and then number 1 or 2, depending on which ring it is. This is number 2, so it's a lower. And these always go up. So just work it around. Actually, I have ring pliers. And installing these, really useful to use a set of ring pliers. They're just simple, cheap. It makes it a lot easier for these smaller sets. Just don't want to go too far because these can break, as I've seen happen in the past to some unfortunate people. Just getting it started. I'll line it up with the pin. Alright, that bottom was on, and now I'll just repeat for the top. This is the silver one. Yep, just look for the same markings on these as well. The skirt, I guess, the lower section, the taper, that is facing down. And the ring is on this side. And there is that set up and on. Alright, next we are going to be installing the piston. It is relatively simple. This one is a bit more of an uncommon piston that I'm using because this is actually the 10 horsepower version of the engine, which is a lot. I haven't seen too many out of the probably 20 or so that I've dealt with. This is one of 3, I believe, that I have, and yeah, I've been unlucky because I've been looking for the 8 horsepower ones, but I keep getting these, which biggest tell is the piston. This hole is 13 millimeters on the 10 horse. There is I don't believe I have one here, but the smaller ones, it is on the 8 horse, it is a 12 millimeter hole, which that means different wrist pin, wrist bearing, the rod's different too. So typically, like this crank assembly, it's a new old stock one, it is very difficult to find. I know of one other person that has new old stock other than me, but yeah. For all of these, normally just start off simple. Get the wrist clip in. These ones are always difficult to get for me, but just takes a little bit of finesse. Alright, so the first wrist clip is in. Now you just install. I'll do the bearing next. Make sure it is well lubed. That way you do not have a bad time on the first start. Yeah, pretty much all this, anything moving, just make sure it's well lubricated. Plop that into place. Typically I try to get these thrust washers to also sit with the bearing, but it can be difficult at times. So also I really advise stuffing paper towel, rag, something in here just to keep it from, if something does fall off, it's not a pain in the ass trying to get it out. And pay attention to the arrow for the exhaust side. Grease this up a little bit more. sure everything lines up correctly. Alright, so once you get that on, it's a little tool you use. I will probably do a separate video in the future on how to use it. It's just finicky. Can't really get a good view of it, so I just kept it out. Just install this, and then the piston is in. Alright, now I'm going to lube up the cylinder. Make sure that's all ready. I like to be very generous on these old bikes. It just doesn't hurt. I mean, it doesn't hurt in what I've dealt with so far. Get the skirts of the piston as well. Grab a gasket. Just work it on slowly. Just grease that up a little bit along the seam. I have had problems with that in the past. And line up your rings with your pins. So those are looking good. Cylinder is nice and lubed. Going to turn this to lower down. Slide her in. Squeeze the rings and just slowly work it. There you go. Just making sure everything feels nice and smooth. Everything's looking good. So wipe the top off. Pop a brand new gasket on. Make sure it's the right way. And next we have a new old stock head. Very clean. Pop that on. With that head on now, we're going to get the washers on so I don't drop them. There we go. And these are some 13mm bolts. These get torqued to spec, which is 15 foot-pounds. Just gonna work them on first. Get them all snug. I like to go in a crisscross pattern for the most part. Or anything like this, just that way it seats evenly. Rotate the engine just so it's easier to hold. A lot easier to do this in the bike, but might as well do it while I'm here. Normally I don't really trust this wrench because I found it's not super accurate. Good thing is their torque specs they have some variance because it's about 12 to 15 foot-pounds, give or take. And then this is actually not a fresh plug, but a pretty good one. This one is, what is it, BAHS NGK. Just gonna pop that in hand tight for now. That one I will actually tighten once it's in the bike. And with that, top end is complete. From here, it is basically just clutch cover and the intake manifold. Not clutch cover, flywheel cover. This one, since I am doing a premix build, it's going to be an ME, kind of more MT style. Taking off the headlights and everything, but oil pump delete. This has no hole for the oil line to go into, so there's no oil pump behind that. This will just thread on. I'm not going to do anything crazy for this. Make sure you got a gasket there too. There's a fresh gasket on there. The bolts in. And you will have this facing down, the little flat spot where the intake would be for the oil injection. Just going to get those started. Just get those tight. A little bit of dirt falling off of them. That can't hurt anything. But, yep, we have compression. Now this cover, I will wait to put that on until it is on the bike. That way the chain is easier to do. This still needs torqued, and this also, the plate needs flapped over along with the kickstart, but other than that, it's pretty simple. Alright, now I have the chain on. Also, when putting chain on, reminder to put the master link on the right way, because I've seen people who have not put it on the right way and it's popped off, and I've done that myself. Now for this, I do 42 foot-pounds. Yeah, best way to do this is typically put the engine in gear and then hold brakes, or have someone else hold the brakes. There we go for that. One big thing with these engines is also the lock washer, or whatever it is. Make sure you have at least one side pulled up on these, because every single engine I've pulled apart, this nut has come loose at some point. And out of the last 3 I've done, it has been hand tight. Like, if the washer was not there, sprocket would have been gone. Another concerning thing too is these sprockets. I have found a lot of basically no teeth left, or very minimal. This one's a new JTR sprocket. Got off, I think, eBay for about 12 bucks. So run these, they're pretty good. Alright, got the top one and bottom one tightened. Typically I just use a flathead, and vice grips, just clamp it down. Alright, next we're doing the mag cover, which, simple enough. Just start with the plate, get that somewhat lined up, and then next we'll do shift linkage, everything. This, all rebuilt and everything recently. Make sure it's greased up well, or else it can bind. I haven't really had it happen personally, but it just better safe than sorry. You want to pull this out as much as you can. With this pulled out now, we're going to align the shift mechanism. Alright, with that in place, now we just gotta line up the holes, which is going to be fun since all this came a little loose. Alright, that should be lined up. Sadly for these covers I don't have all the matching bolts, so I kind of use what I have. Come on in, you're right there. There it goes. These I just go hand tight. You can use the impact wrench on these, but I don't typically see a need. Alright, next we're doing is the shifter. Just pop it on, simple as that. You can adjust it how you like. I like mine typically a little bit lower than the foot peg, but this is just trial. If I need to, I can adjust it. And this bolt, nothing crazy, just snug it up. And next is this little plate. Just pops on right there. 2 simple screws. Just like that. Alright, next up will be the carb and air boot, or airbox, whatever the hell it's called. Alright, this is the Mikuni. Just simple, clean it up, ultrasonic cleaner. Looks pretty good considering where it was, but yep, just pop it on, tighten it up, and that's pretty much it. You're snugged up. You tighten this right here. Put slide in now. Wouldn't hurt to put it in the right way. There we go. Slips right in. There we go. Just takes a little bit of finesse, but get it eventually. And get this clamp around. That's on. And here's the filter assembly. New filter in there, nothing special, just pop it in, and then see it, and then just use the 2 little hooks. And from here, you can either use zip ties or pretty much a bit of anything, but I got the good old spring. Alright, so I just attached the clutch cable and the kickstart. Still need to adjust the clutch cable. Gotta find my socket for this, get that done. And then, yeah, throw the exhaust on, try to start her up, see what she does. Alright, got my spark plug wrench. Just get that nice and tight, not super tight. Plug that in. Coil should be good. Bike ran some point last year before I decided to tear the engine apart because it overheated. Yep. Now for the exhaust and engine mounts, and then I'm going to throw a rag over it and then tighten it with a pipe wrench. That way it doesn't scuff up the paint too much. I'm not going for super tight right now, just getting it snug enough to at least do a quick fire up. Oh, kill switch doesn't work anymore. Used to. Then again, also I don't have a key in it, so the wiring's all fucked up anyways. Well, starts, doesn't hold throttle really, so yeah, we will see. But yeah, overall, sounds pretty fucking nice. Till next time.